Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm trying something kind of new today, so this is the first episode of a new series that I think I will be entitling Flute Life Chats. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katie and I'm a professional flutist living in New York City, and I have had the privilege of studying at 3 great conservatories during my time as a student. First at the New England Conservatory, then at Juilliard, and then a bit of time at the Peabody Conservatory of Music. So I have really gotten the chance to learn from great teachers over the years and to spend time in these really important institutions. So I'm very grateful for that. And now I'm living and working as a freelance musician in New York City. I do a ton of different things as it is with a freelance career. I have my own flute studio. I play in various different ensembles. I also am the co-director of a musicians collective that plays in art galleries and other unique spaces around the city. And of course, I also run my own YouTube channel and do a lot of content creation. I graduated with my master's from Juilliard in 2016, so I've been out in the real world now for a bit of time. And anytime that I get the chance to share anything that I've learned with younger musicians or anyone who's interested in a career in music or anyone who's passionate about music, that feels like really important work. So thanks for being here. And today, I'm trying out something new, sitting down and having maybe more of a candid chat, kind of definitely unscripted, unfiltered chat. And I wanted to talk about a topic that's been on my mind. So yesterday I did something that I haven't done in a really long time, and it's also part of my New Year's resolution, one of my resolutions for this year. And that resolution is to absorb more information, to try to learn more, attend more performances. And I think that now that I've been out of school for a while and I can kind of finally do this also on my own terms, it feels better. I think, in New York City, there are so many opportunities to attend events and concerts, but I think being kind of separated now from that world of being in school, it feels a little bit like part of me has maybe recovered from that, and I can, like I said, do this on my own terms. But yesterday I attended a master class, which is something, like I said, I haven't done in a long time, by Karl-Heinz Schultz, who is one of the principal flutists of the Vienna Philharmonic. And the Vienna Phil is currently visiting New York for a concert tour. So in his very little free time, I'm sure he came to give a masterclass, and that was really informative, to get to see so many young players, students. The youngest of them, I think, were in pre-college programs. So to see these young flutists play and to learn from them, I thought that was a really great experience. And then later that evening, I attended a recital that he gave. And in the audience, of course, there were so many flute players from the city. Like, everyone wanted to come and hear what this amazing player can do. And that got me thinking about these young players. And, I still consider myself to be fairly young. I don't know how long you can call yourself a young artist, but I'm 32. But to be in this room full of many flute players from all different walks of life and on all different journeys and at different points in their flute journey or their flute life, we can see how many players are out there, how many really gifted, amazing players there are. And we can either let ourselves feel really discouraged by that, or we can use it as we can reframe it and see it as something really special. I think in the music school environment and also out of music school, just seeing the things that our colleagues are doing, it can be easy to compare our journey, our own path to theirs. But we're not here to do that. We should not be doing that. That really only brings, negativity, and it's not worth it to go down that way of thinking. I think the more that we can remember our own gifts and our own abilities, each one of you, we all have our own strengths. We all have the things that light us up. We all have something that sets us apart from others. And I don't mean that in a way of that someone is so much better than someone else, but that we all have our own individual things that make ourselves shine. And I think that, that can sometimes get lost when we're in music school and we're around others, and maybe we are in that mind frame of comparison. It's also easy to get discouraged when we think about how many students there are that are currently in music school and about to graduate from music school and go out into, having this career in music. And if you are amongst them and you're looking around and you're thinking, where am I going to fit in this career? We're always told that there are way fewer opportunities than there are musicians. And in a way, that could be true. If we're thinking in terms of the fact that there's, one principal flute job in major orchestras, like if we're getting really real about this, not everyone can be the principal flute of the Berlin Philharmonic, and that's okay. And I think the sooner that we can realize that, it's actually a bit freeing. There's only one spot, right? Maybe 2 spots if there are, co-principals. And there's how many thousands of flutists out there, how many thousands of people wanting this one dream. But I think that the moment that we realize that, that specific path is not everyone's path, and that's okay. And maybe it's your path, and that's great. And maybe it's not your path, and that's great too. I think the moment that as students you can, bring that back inward and think about what are your own strengths, what are you bringing to the table, so to speak. Also thinking about the fact that, you're not going to have your teacher's career path. And that's a complete topic for maybe another episode. But, there are so many infinite ways that we can be a musician. There's not one right way, there's not a wrong way. And like I said, I think that when we come to that realization, that can be really powerful and really truly freeing. And I'm not saying to not practice and to not work hard in school. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I think just remembering that there is space for you, whether you are the principal flutist of a major orchestra or you are teaching flute lessons to kindergarteners. There's not one path that's inherently better than another, but there's a path that is right for you and a path that resonates with your own gifts and your own interests. And I think in the music world, at least when I was in school, the general feeling was this, scarcity mindset that there are so many musicians graduating and there are X amount of jobs. And like I said, if we're thinking X amount of jobs as the principal flute of a major orchestra or X amount of jobs as a professor at a top conservatory, yeah, then we can see it in that kind of state of lack or scarcity. But if we can think about all the many different possibilities, all the different ways that having a career in music or in the arts can look in 2024, then that's a different story. One of those ways being what I'm doing right now, speaking to you through the internet. Like, how cool is that? But, I think that if we can change our mindset around this way of thinking, instead of thinking that there's not enough, seeing what can I do with my own particular interests and my own particular strengths. But the point that I'm trying to make is that there is space for you as a musician. And how special and cool and neat is that we each get to kind of pave our own way, and we are not going to have the same path as someone else, and that's okay. That's more than okay. There are many ways to make music. There's not one right or wrong way. There are many ways to have a career, to have a life in music. And I think also the more we can expand our idea of what that means to have a life in music, I think only positive things can come from that. But I would challenge you to, the next time that your mind goes to that scarcity mindset frame, and this is to myself also, because even though now I have, a lot more perspective on this than I did when I was younger and I was a student, You know, I'm not immune from this. I'm a human also. Challenging yourself to reframe that, and instead of thinking about, oh, there's this one exact thing that I need in my career to make it. Instead of thinking of it in terms of that, thinking about the different possibilities, and allowing yourself to also feel joy for those that have that thing that maybe was the thing that you used to want, or maybe you still want it, but to, you know, have the faith in your own abilities, in your own strengths, and to know that if we can put in the work, and of course if we can also on top of that expand our mindset, expand our ideas about what a career in music can be, and that it's not just that principal flute job of the Berlin Phil or whatever it is. Like I said before, I think only positive things can come from that. There is space for you. And I think with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode. So let me know if you like this more casual style of video, and also if there are any specific topics that you want me to address or chat about. And I'm wishing you much happiness and success, whatever that version of success means to you in your own musical journey. And I'll see you here again very soon.